Rural Americans deserve access to the best our nation has to offer, especially when it comes to health care. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families' health. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me. Taxi. Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Now let's talk about something else. Is there anything that you believe that is so special about the human experience that you feel that you have to, save? I guess what I'm saying is, can you tell me one job that a human must be involved in for you to feel comfortable? For example, I believe there will always be Broadway. I always believe there will be a performance. There will be a performance. And right now, we kind of tend to believe that we'd like to see human beings act as actors. We want to see human beings. We don't want to see some droid, some robot, some AI or AGI fueled machine walk around, some General Dynamics robot doing the piece. We don't. Because in our hearts we're saying this isn't real. This isn't what I want. Would you want to see a game of a football game or a baseball game of droids? No. What's the point of that? Watching machines play? No. Now, you say that, I say that because we're used to it. But there's a brand new generation that will not know the difference. And let's talk about the arts. Why did you like the Beatles? I know this may sound strange, but when the Beatles came out, it was the four lads. You liked the lads. You liked who they were. They were different. They sounded different. They looked different. Ringo and this and that. What if one day we eliminate that and I say, look, let's just cut to the chase. We'll give you music that makes the Beatles sound like pikers. Would that affect you one bit whatsoever? Now, our good friend, Mr. Matt Blaze, who always, his theory is, if I can break the system and if I can cheat people out of their talents, I will do it. That's the way he thinks. It's demented, but it's honest. Mr. Blaze, give us an idea of what you're going to play for us and why this should frighten people.
So, I think this is just an extension of what's always happened maybe it's a little bit different in music because we went from acoustic to then synthesizers and computers and the way you record now, and now has bled into AI. And there is big controversy and lawsuits about AI and how it's learning, that it's learning from copywritten music. And they have an issue with that. It
is scraping. In order for it to, like large language models, it predicts the next word. It predicts. It doesn't, it's not what you think it is. And it uses the entire library of music and news that it scrapes from. But is that the same in any event? But that's the problem.
It's almost like an inspiration because it's not, it's not taking exactly something. So it's almost like if you said, well, I was inspired by Led Zeppelin to play rock and roll and to write songs. It's sort of taking the next step of going, okay, we're going to take all of this music and we're going to feed it in and it's going to learn chord progressions and keyboard sounds and where it goes from and song structure.
From a variety of sources and not just one in particular.
Right.
So good luck trying to figure out who's responsible.
Exactly. And right now, there are some digital distribution sites that will not take AI music at all. And then there are some that will. And Spotify and Apple Music, they'll put it up there. The only thing they don't want is if it is something that's copywritten protected, or it sounds like an imitation of somebody else. So you can't say, you can't take an AI voice of Taylor Swift and upload an AI song of Taylor Swift and call it something else because it sounds like Taylor Swift. That you can't do. But if you just make an AI song with a voice, that's okay. That doesn't violate.
And I think we'd have a hard
rules.
time if you didn't say, for example, this is Taylor Swift, but if you said, my God, this is almost indistinguishable. You do realize that if I were to go out and I were to sound exactly like Taylor Swift, didn't look like her, but if I sounded just like her, that would be okay.
Right, because you're imitating, but
no, what if I just happen to sound like? It's amazing how they sound just like her. They wouldn't claim copyright because they sounded. And I didn't want to argue.
Well, I guess it would be like considered parody, maybe, because you're a person as opposed to a AI generated voice
under the classic,
specifically of Taylor Swift.
Under the classic copyright standard, do you confuse something for something else? There was a guy years ago in Las Vegas named Frank Sinatra. It was his name, and he had Frank Sinatra's, and they said no. But my name is Frank Sinatra. No. Not in Las Vegas. No, sorry. And even though it's his name. All right, so tell us what we have here.
So we've made AI songs. We took the Gia Giudice song. It was her lyrics put to AI music. There's other songs that we've generated that were totally AI. Put something in, fed it a prompt, and it spit it back out. What the AI does now, and what a lot of musicians are doing with AI, they're using it more as a tool. So let's say, and I kind of used to think of things like this, like, wouldn't it be great if I could hum something into a microphone and have the computer put notes to it, and then I could be able to hear it in a keyboard sound or hum a drum pattern and be able to have drums do that. So now the AI is doing that. So this is an original song I wrote.
Is this a song or lyrics?
No. This is an instrumental song that I wrote 11 years ago. It's a demo. Actually, I could start playing it because I could talk over it because it goes kind of long. So this is all me. I programmed it. The drum sounds. I wrote the keyboard lines. Everything about this is all mine. There's no AI involved in this. So I took this and the entire file and fed it into the AI. So I said, you should get a little idea of what it sounds like. So I fed this entire song, and it's very short because this was like a demo, into the AI. And you could adjust how much of the audio do you want to use of it, how much of the style that you describe that you want of this song. And then it has a weirdness. Like, I guess it makes it kind of glitchy or weird.
Right.
I don't know. And it's like 50, 100%, whatever. So here, this is the main part. That's the build. So this is considered big room house music, the festivals. Again, this is not AI. This was what I wrote 11 years ago. So I thought, hey.
Are there any lyrics to this? Or just
no,
this
has no lyrics.
Okay.
So this is basically it right here.
Okay.
So I fed it into the AI. I said I wanted it in a tech house style. I gave it a prompt, and then even with the AI, you know how like when you edit pictures, you have a little magic wand?
Yes.
So the AI even has that where it takes what you wrote and it even makes it better for the AI generator to understand what you want. So I took that. I had ChatGPT write lyrics. I said, a girl walking to a club, she's the center of attention. So it wrote the song. And it said, she's this, she's that. I said, no, write it from the point of view of the girl. So it generated one. I didn't like it. I said something else. It generated another one. So, okay, that's it. I took those lyrics, that song, and fed it into the AI. And this is what it came out with.
Lights down. I feel it already.
You feel what?
I feel it already.
Oh, that's just I feel horny.
It does sound like that.
Okay.
But you could hear
This one's mine.
the rhythm that I did. Here, listen to this.
And it's much clearer. It's more, and it's differentiated.
There's a chord change.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
Now there's lyrics. A little more instrumental.
I step inside, feel the room shift fast. Bass hits deep like arrows my past. I don't rush, let the moment breathe. Every move seems perfect beat.
I like that that Britishy, breathy.
So I had to put that in. I specifically said a British accent because the first versions came out, it sounded like Rihanna,
Yes.
like that.
Now, in case you've just tuned in, none of this is real from any perspective.
No, except it took what I wrote
Right.
and flipped it.
Right. No, it took the basis of this. Now, being completely crazy at this point, what if I were to say, I want somebody who seems confused, a bit daft, maybe inebriated, somebody not sure of herself, who was a terrible singer, a little off. And what if I just wrote this? Somebody
We could
who was
check it out and see what
somebody
it says.
she was a heavy smoker. She suffered some kind of esophageal trauma years ago and has been perhaps forced out of the business. This is her comeback. How much of a story could we give?
Did you write into the AI prompt?
If you're looking to create, grow, and sustain your wealth, download and subscribe to the Pain Points of Wealth podcast at BeBullish.com with Bob, Ryan, and Chris Payne. It's your podcast for market insights, money tips, and real talk on the economy.
Download and subscribe
At BeBullish.com.